Good day, everyone, and welcome to our SIG webinar today. The topic is HPE ART. Protect your business now. Next. This webinar is brought to you by our Vivid Security and Privacy SIG leaders, so Dominic Listerman and Kevin May run our special interest group on security. I am your host. I am Rocky Pisto. I'm a chapter leader, SIG leader in the BSM space, and covering today for the team to help moderate this call. Today's speaker is Pedro Mangel Mendez. I'll forget the third middle name, but he's a business unit manager at DataSmart, and he's the Portugal chapter leader. Next. So we have a few housekeeping things to address. First, this is a live session. It's being recorded, and the recording will be available to all Vivid members in the future. If you have questions, there's a webinar control panel pane that you can type in your questions here, and we'll see it on the screen and address it either during the presentation or after the presentation today. And if we don't answer your question during the webinar today, it will be recorded and documented, and we will provide you that link in a few days. And I think with that, I turn it over to Pedro. Pedro, it's all yours.
Okay, thank you, Rocky. So, good afternoon for everyone. We will try to cover one of the major issues for the today business, is just to protect our business. We will see what the dimension of the business today, and that the IT is one of the big issues for the business. So we have to protect our business the best way we can. So we have huge investments from companies. We have several dynamic IT systems changes. Systems are always changing, just like for cloud and moving from servers and storage in the traditional way or to cloud. So this kind of changes moves a lot with the plans we have in place. Are we going through the motions? Are we going straight with the plans, the correct plans with all these changes? Where do we start? So this is the questions that we're going to cover in this webinar. So first of all, it's very important for us as technicians, as business managers, as the whole company to understand the kind of business risks the business is facing. We have, for example, technology risks. What can we do? We talk about this kind of risk the business is facing. IT failures. We can have a server fail. For example, the monitoring software is failing and not giving us the right answer. We can have a database failure, and we know the importance of a database in the IT environment and the whole thing. We can have networks failing. We can have cybercrime. That it's something that is happening every day in our days. We can have in-house sabotage. It's something it's happening also. Efforts to steal, corruption, destroying of data, denial of service, malware, and things like that. This is technology risk. This is something that we are facing today about. It's a technology risk. Physical risk. We can have HVAC failures, power outage, telecommunication failures, loss of business and customer retention. So this is a physical risk that the business also is facing. Let's see that in this minute we are talking about it, we are facing two huge risks. Let's talk about human risk. So we can have a human error. People are human and they fail. They fail not because they want to fail, but it's something that is inherent from the perspective of a human. So we can have a human error or a data corruption failure. We can have organized crime activity, and we have seen terrorist acts, for example. We can have local and regional disruption, strikes, legal action, shutdown orders, wrong shutdown orders. And for example, environment risks. In the United States, we have lots of disasters, natural disasters, like a flood, a earthquake, hurricane, tornado. Well, in my country, in Portugal, we don't have so much the hurricane and the earthquake, but we have been suffering from earthquake lots of years ago. But right now we are facing more like fire and flood because we are near the coast and the river. But this is 4 kinds of risks that our business is facing every day, and I want you to have it very, very close to you when we think about protecting our business. I want to put this slide on this presentation just to give us an idea, because we can think, no, today we have lots of technology and we are safe. Our business is safe. So let's go 100 years ago, and let's think how risk management was applied in 100 years ago. Let's make some questions here. Do you know why Titanic has sunk? Everyone does see this kind of information. So did they manage the risk correctly? Or do you think it's all about technology? The ship doesn't have the right technology to sail away to his destiny? Or do you think that the problem, it was about procedures and the right procedures to go to his destiny? So this is something that we have to say. So they have a risk management plan. They have a lot of compartments that they can flood, but maybe the wrong plans make the ship sink. So this is what we have to think in our days. We have to have the right plans and write it down the right way, because the technology won't save us from flood. Okay. One of the risks that business is also facing, and this is like a technology risk. IoT it's present every day nowadays. So Internet of Things, you can see it. I just put here a picture to have an idea what we are facing. We have machines that is selling food inside our companies that are connected to the internet. We have air conditioners. We have IP cameras that are connected to the internet. So, as I have some text here, just to give us some numbers, there are today more than 10 billion connected devices that are connected inside our company and exposed to the companies that are managing that device. And you know that the last 6 months, a huge risk is occurring in the United States with a food machine, that the attackers enters inside the food machine with the IP and attack the company with a denial of service through the food machine. So what I want to show with this slide is that we have to be sure that we have to move forward with our procedures. We have to have, for example, a network with several VLANs to the right connected device. So we are not in the time that we just have one VLAN for the whole devices. We are facing another time with lots of connected devices that needs to be sealed off from our production environment. Okay. So be free to put some questions live when we are talking, and then if we can answer live, we will answer, or we will answer at the end. So I put this slide also with these 4 suites, and what's wrong in here? That we have the same suite for 4 different people. What I want to show to you is that risk management plan is not It's not the same for every company, for every environment. So you should have the right risk management plan for each company, for each context. So in Portugal, I don't know, but we used to, for the CEOs to okay, let's implement a risk management plan and the standard one. So this doesn't work. We have to make an assessment, understand the risks for our context, for our systems, for our software, for the way we make the business, if we are exposed to the web commerce or we have other context of business. So each company, is business has risk management plan with the right tools, with the right procedures. Okay, so we are seeing here a cat with the right risk management plan because he's not afraid from the dogs. What is the importance of a tested and accurate disaster recovery process? So now we are talking about, for instance, where our art can help us in the recovery process of disaster recovery. Just for you to understand that before the 9/11 event, IT managers said that they had to fight for the money to implement disaster recovery plans and technology. This is normal in Portugal and Europe. I know, I talk with my colleagues in the UK and other countries. IT managers, they are only fighting for money for increase the security and to implement disaster recovery plans. After 9/11, we have lots of changes in the speech, because we have lots of examples for the companies that they are not prepared for that. For example, Cantor Fitzgerald has lost almost 700 employees. And when they lost the employees, which is very, very bad as a human perspective, of course, and for the company, they lost also his primary data center. So the risk in the company is almost close as a deal, because all the know-how and the procedures and even they have a second, and I will go to the next slide. Even they have a second data center, they don't have the right persons and the know-how to put them up and go to business. So it's just for everyone to understand that it's not all about technology. It's about procedures and the right procedures to recover from disaster recovery. So maybe if you have a second site, you don't have the right people in the know-how alive to do it. Okay. So another example, Cantor Fitzgerald has lost almost 200 million in the loss of property and interruption of business. Nowadays, if you stop to work, to be live on the e-commerce, for example, for 1 month, 2 months, it can be the death of the company. So what companies today are asking is for a BIA. It's a business impact analysis, what can analyze if a disaster occurs, what is the impact for the company. Okay. So the message in the speech is business and IT must be aligned. So you must have the right IT for the right business, and not there is not another way. One of the things we say, what is the cost of doing nothing? Okay, do you put this question? I have a challenge for you. Just ask your CEO or your general manager this question: what is the cost of doing nothing? So doing nothing seems very inexpensive at first glance. There is nothing no equipment or software to purchase, no annoying project plan to set up, and no overtaxed personnel to relocate. So it's easy to defend a zero. Okay, who can argue with a strategy that has a cost of zero? No one. Everyone is happy. No problem. But doing nothing only works until the moment that something happens. Okay, so when something happens, if you don't invest money, then invest technology and the right procedure and people, just like it's efficient not to carry an umbrella right until the day it rains. So it's like for you to understand. So in the IT field, something is definitely going to happen. The only question is when. So let's focus on this. Something happens, doing nothing starts to look, once something happens, doing nothing starts to look more costly. So we want for you to think where art can help on these kind of issues about disaster recovery plans, about the procedures to do that. And we think that art can change. Imagine, for instance, when you have a disaster recovery plan, you have Excels with the host name and the IP address and what is the description of the machine, and you have all the steps, and for instance, workflow for start up the machine, or a recovery for when you want to make a restore for a database, for example. Imagine if you don't have the static documents, the Excel and the words and all the text static word. Imagine that you have the whole process record in a video action document live. So you can record all these steps in an environment when you save all the steps for a disaster recovery, and when you need it to recover from a disaster, you just have to make a play from this process, and you have it already done. So you just have to do it, for instance, 6 months in a row, and you have the whole process updated without human error. Okay. So one of the advantages of art is that we just have a single source creation. We save the whole process one time, and then we have output in a very format. We can have we're gonna see forward the various formats that we have. So the advantage of effective plans, we have a reduce consultancy costs, increase self-sufficiency, but we are self-sufficient, reduce single point of knowledge, because we have the procedures saved in the fashionable way that we are not so dependent from people. So we have one of the things that the business and the companies are also used to do these days is outsourcing groups. And for instance, you have the operations team. These teams are in an outsourcing. So it's normal to every year to change the company that is selling this kind of service with an SLA. So if you have the procedures all saved in very in a fashion way, you can easily change your company that is providing your resources without mitigating the risk. Okay. Reduce single point of knowledge, mitigate risk to the business. So you have an example, for example, where DataSmart is helping the customers with art. On the right, we have here a workflow of a single database failure. And this is a static document of a customer of DataSmart that when a database suffers from a failure, they have to follow all this workflow. So if you are in the pressure with the customer and the phones and the tickets and all the things, everyone is asking you when do the database and the application will gonna stay up, and you have to read all this workflow document. What we propose with art is just to record the steps live with the restore of the database. Imagine with the data protector or with the solution you have for the restore. You just do the steps with data protector, and we will save it with HPE ART. And then we can have it like a data sheet or just like training, and that the operator must do the whole steps, and then we have a evaluation at the end with the percentage of the success of the test. But you have the process saved in a way that you know that it's going to work. Okay, because if you have a static document, maybe this database has make some move to another machine, and the database is no longer in this instance. And when the operator wants to make a restore, the document is dead. It's not a live document. Okay.
Pedro, can I ask a question?
Yeah.
So basically, you're saying that with the ART tool, I can customize it and tailor it to our needs for our company. Take the process flow that's there and just customize it so that we can, really tailor it to, train any new people that come on board, or everyone knows the process. It's all consistent.
Exactly, Rocky. What we are saying is that we have a live process record in the way the operators just have to do it. So it's no document, no Excel, no PDF, no workflow application. You just have the procedure like the operator have to do it live. Okay? So this is a huge advantage. People are always changing companies are always changing their company of outsourcing. So that's right, that's correct.
Great.
So
thank you.
What is the added value that we are putting here? Minimize human error, because if you have the process saved live, you just have to follow it. Okay. Train with real procedures, not documents. This is the real added value. Maximize your RTO also, because you use less time to do it. Okay. Reduce time to produce and change procedures. So you will be more easy to pass the message to the whole team with a new procedure or a change of procedure, and go live and be ready to work. Okay. So we'll try to see. I have a virtual machine with the ART installed. I am not authorized to record something in our customers and show it today, but what I have done is I have a virtual machine, and I record some steps in the Windows 7 machine, and you will see how we can record easily some 3-4 steps, and then you can run it like different outputs. So let me push for example, so this is my Windows 7 machine, and it's a HPE ART webinar, and I'm gonna open the index. So this is already saved. Okay, so I save it, and I'm gonna open it. Okay, so this is all. We can customize all this image. We can put the image for your company and say procedure for the restore of database or whatever. So we're gonna launch the record in test mode. So this, so this is ART is opening here. Sorry. So I click on the start menu of the Windows 7. But I have to go to the paint. This is the lesson that we record. I have to click on start, and then I have to click on paint. But if I'm wrong and I click on calculator, okay, ART will say to me, your response was not correct. Would you like assistance? And I will say, yes, okay, I will need help. Okay. And ART can have a balloon saying to me, okay, you just have to click paint. Okay, and I will click the right place. Okay, so maybe imagine that this is Data Protector or BSM or whatever. So what I should do is to close the paint at the moment, but I will do another thing. I will click on view, and it will say me again, your response is not correct. Would you like assistance? And I will say, no, okay, I forget, but I know I have to close it. So I will close it and it will do nothing. At the end, just like this is a test, in the test version, an output like a test, it will say to me, you have completed the lesson. We have 3 steps, and you have done it, two of them you have made it on the wrong way. So you have a percentage of accuracy, 33%. Okay? We could restart the lesson until we have 100%, or send the results to your manager or your human resources. Okay? So this is one of the ways that in an output that we can do this. For example, I will do the same thing. The virtual machine. I'll close it. Okay. For example, I will open in an assessment the same record. Oh, this is not correct. For instance, if we record once and we want different outputs, I can have this for example in the spreadsheet, where or in the almost for outputs, different outputs. I don't know if I have it record here, the whole steps. Okay, so here you have a different perspective of the same record. You have the software is saying to you where to go. So imagine that this operator doesn't know anything what you have to do. So he's saying click start button, and then he's saying again click the paint, and then click the close button. Okay. And as you can see in the bottom, the whole steps are record individual, and you say you have completed the lesson. Okay. So the same record, you have 2 different approaches, and the way you can do it. One of the things I can show a little bit of the tool of ART, the software. But what I'd like, Rocky, I think the best way, and if someone is interested in a real demo with different software or even with BSM or data protector, he should leave his contacts and we can do something more specific.
Sure.
Because
yeah, that would be great. I mean, they can either they can send us an email.
Yeah.
Or they can send it to you as one of the SIG leaders or chapter leaders for Portugal. We can provide the contact info.
Yeah.
Or they can, put it in the question pane, and we can collect their email from there as well.
Yeah, and we will be on Discovery this year also, and we can also be together there and make some live demos. One of the things that
Pedro, you'll have a booth there at Discover?
Yeah, I will lead a breakout session with Art also in Discover. Yeah.
Okay, great.
Yeah. So we have the opportunity to talk in more detail in London, in Discovery London this year. What I want also to make sure for you to be crystal clear is that Art doesn't save a video. Art is, you can separate the whole clicks that you do in the whole procedure. So when I click the start button, it knows that this is a step. It's not a whole video. When I click on paint, it creates another step, another panel. So you can have different specifications. You can have 26 languages for Art. So you can record once. And if you are a multinational company, you can pass the information to the different countries with one record. You can spread the whole message in 26 languages. Okay, so this is a huge advantage, and a huge time saving. Okay, so
Pedro, just a question.
Yeah.
So that just to help me understand better, the ART tool comes pre-configured for learning how to use tools like ALM or Performance Center or BSM to get into your company, so that, you know, if you've got 1, 10, or 20 employees, or they're rotating, or people are coming and going, they can take this course because it's part of the corporate environment. It's already been, you know, customized for the company environment, so that new people, you know, you don't have to send them to training somewhere. It's right in-house. They can take their time, and they can kind of learn how to use the HPE software tools that are that the company owns, and kind of give them a quick start lesson. And also, you mentioned, again, it's customized so that it fits, you know, whatever the company is, their environment, the way they do things. So
that's
pretty key.
100% correct. Yeah, and it's a huge advantage. So you can train your operation team with BSM or operations, and you have a pre-record of all the steps of the software, so you can record the training for the BSM or operations with a pre-record, and or customize it for the customer. Yeah, but it's you have the pre-saved environment.
That seems to be the biggest problem that I see, that I hear from my customers, is that we can't find people that know how to use these tools. They're not trained anymore, because things happen so quickly. So, yeah, I mean, this is a great way to get them again trained, and not spending the cost of sending them somewhere.
Yeah, that's the message. Rocky, I will talk about an example that we are working very hard with the KTM motorcycles. They are spread all over the world, and on Brazil and the whole area in Europe also, and they have a big issue because they have the software for where you buy the parts for the motorcycles in the whole world, and this software is not the easy friendly software, but it's a huge project that they have to build a new software. So they are very concerned about every country, every company that is representing locally KTM can order the right parts in a easy and fast way, okay, that the market is demanding. So what we are talking with KTM is we can record the training session for the software and spread it, the whole language, in an easy way and fast way, and they can learn very fast how to use the application of KTM to order the parts. So they are very happy. We are working very hard on this, and we know that we're gonna fulfill his needs. So this is an example that what we can use art also, and a good example. Okay. So do we have more questions and answers, Rocky?
Well, we probably have some questions, and you can provide the answers.
Okay.
You know, one of the questions is, and again, anyone that's on the line and you've got questions about the presentation today, and about art, or just anything related to, you know, the security SIG, for example. So if you've got security related questions, or what's happening with HPE questions, feel free to put them in there, and we can kind of keep the conversation going. We've got another 20 some minutes, so let's make the most use of it. And so, you know, a few questions here. Can HPE ART cover education for any application? In other words, does it have to be an HPE software application? Can I do it for something else that I need a real process flow?
Okay, that's a nice question. No, you as Rocky, as you are saying, so we have pre-record sessions for BSM, for data protector, for service manager, but you can use ART as a record tool for learning, e-learning, for the software that you want. So there are no limitations for that. As the KTM example that we are talking about, so you can record any application, any procedure, feel free to do it. No issue on that.
And you've provided the link to where we could find out, what applications are currently supported by HPE software using the ART tool. So that's great.
Yep.
And you mentioned earlier in the presentation that there are multiple languages that can use HPE ART. So it's not just in English, or there's a number of languages that support the use of the tool.
Yep. We are talking about 26 languages.
26 languages, okay.
26, yeah. So it's a huge advantage because you can record once the procedure and then you can spread the procedure for a lot of countries with different language, and you don't have to just have to make the passage to another language. So, and again, Rocky, how technicians like to make the documentation of their project. They love it.
Right.
Yeah, they don't like to do it. So, but with ART, it's very easy. You just have to have the tool recording all the steps, and when you are implementing or installing the software, for instance, we have companies that huge companies in Portugal that they are interested in ART, for instance, for when the consultants are installing solutions like Exchange or something or SQL. They can save the whole implementation, and then they can document with the live process of the implementation. So this is just unbelievable what you can do.
Well, I just see, that's a tremendous feature of the tool, is that you've got a place to document, current procedures or current applications, so that others, once it's documented, that seems, like you said, that's the part that people don't like to do. They put it on a spreadsheet or a Word document. This is a more automated way to document the procedure or the process, so that when the next person comes along, he sees the most current version of the product procedure to make sure that, don't forget this step or that step. So,
exactly.
No, that's great.
And how implementations are done. Every technicians have done the print screens of the installation. The next another
right.
print screen, and this is nowadays you are still doing that. So what we are saying is, with ART, you don't need to do that. You don't have to spend time making print screens. You just go and do your job, and ART is saving all the steps and the whole windows and the whole information you are typing. So
great.
It's great. It's real great.
Do you know what the latest version is of ART?
5.13.
5.13? 5.13?
Yeah,
okay.
Exactly. It's have less than a month the new version, and we have new functionalities. We will show it on Discovery this year.
Okay.
And
tell me, Pedro, how does the licensing work?
Okay, the license. So you have two separate things. You have the authoring tool. So it's the tool where you save the steps. Okay, and you need a license for that. And then you have the runtime license. So if you want one person or you want to save it one project at a time, you only need one license for authoring, okay, for save. if you want to pass the same the saved process or application to 100 persons, you will need 100 runtime license. Okay, so this is how ART is licensed, and of course, if you have more runtime license, the price will decrease depending on the volume. So it's a normal volume license for the runtime.
What do you see in a typical environment? How many of these licenses do they use? Is it different, or is it generally, I don't know,
Well, it depends. It depends on the organization. So you can have it depends on the organization. We are working with the local government for where the incoming taxes, and they have the persons that are the inspectors that are on the street, and it goes to the local business, trying to see and check all the documents, and they have to know how to use the applications. Even when they are on the street, they launch new applications and modifications and new versions, and if they can still continue to work and doesn't have to go on the headquarters, it's a big advantage. So they have lots of persons in the street. It depends on the organizations. If you have 100 persons working with the software, or if you have 10 or 20, so it's again, it's a volume matter.
Okay.
But it's an investment, because you will earn that money up front, because you will save on the time consuming of getting process in the static way, and you will earn lots of money in this investment, for sure.
Well, I just think it just makes it easier for practitioners to have a tool that they can go to versus trying to read manuals that aren't tailored to their organization. And if I'm in management, I'm offering them a tool that will hopefully excite them enough to want to work in this space or want to work with these tools, and plus giving them some assurance that there's some training available that they can reach out to. Here's how we do it in our company, and it's not coming from a third generation or a third person. It's coming right from the actual document that's been created and approved, and here's how we do things. So I think it would make more people comfortable taking on new technology, as long as there's some kind of standardized training. And I don't think there's probably anything better than trying to do it this way. And one of the questions that came about here is, and again, I'm not quite sure. I'm trying to read into it, but can I save things, steps to a video? I'm not quite sure what they're saying, but save video of the steps.
Well, Rocky, when ART is not saving, again, crystal clear, ART does not save in a video format. So he's not saving AVIs or JPEG. So he's saving in the ART extension. You can run it, and then if you have some tool to save it what is passing on the screen, yes, you can do it. Yeah, you can do it. So again, one of the things that I want to say also, when you record the whole steps in step, you can edit and you can add audio. For instance, we have seen just text saying to you just click start and then go to MS Paint. But if you want to have audio, you can add audio. You just edit that step and you put an audio file saying just please click MS Paint. Okay, so you can have audio and text in the steps if you think that it's better to be more efficient on the training. Yeah.
Well, I think this is as close to YouTube as we're going to get.
Yeah.
And as far as learning things.
The user will love it. Yeah.
I think.
So, yeah.
Go ahead.
So if you want more, just in this slide you have the contact of Jeanette Jacobs. He's a worldwide product senior manager. He's the one is leading worldwide the HPE ART software. And you have my contact, my email also if you have some questions to put it. So we have here also a video about art that you can read it and see it. Okay. And some link with information on HP about art. Okay.
Great. Here's some of the links.
Yep. So we have here also information that Rocky wants to share about the upcoming Vivid webinar.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a Vivid member, you're probably getting information. We've got 2 to 3 webinars a week, I think, scheduled out through October at this point and into November. So there's a lot of interesting information on just a ton of topics that we get from the HP product marketing teams and partners. So just be on the lookout. Looks like this one's 5 ways digital learning helps build amazing IT operations. So it looks like it's an education one coming from the education team as well. So be on the lookout for that.
Okay.
And with
we have more questions, Rocky?
Pedro, let me see if there's anything. Looks like can we download trial versions of the product? I'm thinking the answer is yes.
Yes, if you are, you need some help maybe, no, Rocky? Can you check on this? Also, I'm not sure if...
I think if you go to the HP website in the education area, I mean, I know that, I mean, I can download just about everything in a trial version, so...
I think it's samples, not really the binaries, but I'm not sure again, so...
Yep, no, not a problem.
We can cover.
Yeah, you bet. And I think with that, let me see if there's any other questions here. Whoops. Yeah, I think that was the last question, Pedro. And I think with that, I think we're all done. That was great. Thanks for the information on HP ART and who you are and what you're doing in Portugal. So thanks again.
Thank you, Rocky. Thank you all.
Take care, everyone. Thanks for attending, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.